Now, when it comes to school shootings, it's better to be safe than very sorry. So we sent the Now's Kristen Scovira out to check out some of the latest technology that teachers here in Colorado are using to keep children out of harm's way.
It's a scenario no one wants to think about. You're trapped inside a building with an active shooter. Year after year, we see the terrifying images play out on the news and watch teachers, faculty, and students experience a living nightmare at schools like Virginia Tech, Sandy Hook Elementary, and UC Santa Barbara. And while we all hope we'd think fast during a crisis, we can't help but wonder, what would we do in a similar circumstance? And how would we get out alive?
We haven't taught our teachers and administrators basic police procedures.
Colorado-based company TI Training is trying to change that.
We modify that weapon to provide a simulated recoil, and instead of firing live bullets, we fire an infrared laser.
I stopped by TI's facility in Golden, Colorado, and stepped into a virtual world.
In a violent encounter at a school, for example, we don't expect the teachers to go get involved in the gunfight. However, we can utilize the simulator to teach them other skills that might be able to de-escalate the situation before it became violent.
Vice President of Training Todd Brown says this is a significant advancement in school safety, running drills over and over until teachers and faculty know exactly what to do.
One of the best places to make mistakes is in training, because then nobody gets hurt.
He showed me 7 different scenarios. Some even use verbal commands to de-escalate potential threats, and says clear communication between law enforcement and school staff is critical when lives are on the line.
So in the middle of one of the scenarios, we had an officer telling the suspect to get down, and at the same time, the principal was screaming at him to back up. Well, if the suspect did want to comply, now we've left him confused about what is it he's supposed to do.
TI Training simulators are currently being used in more than 500 law enforcement agencies throughout the United States, and Brown says they are handing out their latest software package for free to existing customers, like the Jefferson County Sheriff's Office. Well, now the FBI defines a mass killing as 4 or more victims, and the average incident lasts about 12 minutes, while 37% last less than 5. And now the teachers are really, in a lot of ways, the first responders. We find out that 49% of the time, the law enforcement get there after the fact. So,
exactly.
Yeah.
So, Kristen, I mean, you can train law enforcement how to handle these incidents, but more importantly is school security, teachers, staff. They need to know what to do, because as you said, most of the time the incident could be over by the time police arrive.
Absolutely. So it's all about communication, and even though the teachers are not going to be armed in these scenarios, it's just working with them and communicating. So it's a good tool for schools to have.